Hello, I see we have a few people joining me. This is Samantha Taylor from Tailored Stamped with Scrapbooking Store. Hoping everyone can hear me, and we'll just hang out for a few minutes while we have people joining us and I get my camera a little bit better. Looks like you guys can see my legs a little bit here. Not a big deal, but I always have to mess with it a little bit. The claw that grabs my phone for this likes to hit my side buttons and make 911 calls, so I always have to mess around a little bit to see where we're at. All right. Everything look right side up, you guys? You can see stuff? Awesome. All right. I'll get started with some of the basics, and as people are joining in, you can see I've got the sketch for tonight printed out. I printed out small because then it kind of fits in my screen as we're working with other things. You can print this whatever size you want when you print it out for yourself. I just like to keep it fairly, I don't know, mini-sized for when we're doing this. I printed it as kind of like a 5x7 photo size. All right, looks like we've got quite a few people still joining in. We are going to use this sketch tonight along with the December kit. If you've used all of your December kit up or you don't have it yet, any papers work for this, and that's the beauty of sketches. That's what I am going to play around with showing you guys tonight. So, hello. I see lots of people saying hi on. Fantastic. When I really get going, if I don't see some of your questions, I apologize. Feel free to ask them again. We also have, I believe, Jo on here from the Scrapbooking Store, and she's really great about answering your guys' questions for me too. I get a little absorbed in what I'm doing sometimes, and so I don't always see it, but I will try. I promise I will try. All right. I hope you guys have jumped on and gotten your sketch already. If you haven't, it should be available on the Scrapbooking Store Facebook page as well. Oh, and look, looks like they are on it for me. There is the link there in the comments that you can grab your sketch. And in case you just hopped on, again, I'm Samantha Taylor with Taylor Stamped, and I'm one of the designers here at Scrapbooking Store, and this is one of my favorite things to do, so I'm glad I get to join you guys this month again. All right, I want to show you first that some of you probably saw this on the page already. I made a layout with the sketch already. So here is one layout I made with the sketch. You guys can see it is very, very true to form. Almost exactly what I've got here as my sketch. Tonight we're going to play around with the sketch a little bit, and I'm going to show you some literal and figurative twists on the sketch. I do most of my cutting ahead of time, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit or a little trick with doing a sort of split paper like this. First, I'm going to start by telling you guys my twist tonight is that we are actually going to turn the sketch sideways. This is one of the easiest things to do with the sketch, one of my favorite things to do to make a sketch look completely different with the exact same sketch. All right. If you look here when I used it this way, I did one photo across the top. It was a 4x6 photo, and I did a letter block, but you could have done another photo here. You could have done a really big 5x7 photo, but you could have done kind of anything here. This is another 4x6 that was part of the kit. Also, that layout was just a traditional Christmas layout with these nice bright colors from the kit. Don't let the sort of Disney theme of the Say Cheese papers scare you off from this kit. At least one side, if not both sides, on a lot of the papers do not have any Disney theming to them at all. That said, this second layout is going to be Disney themed because I just happened a few years ago to take a Disney trip with a friend. We went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and a day at the Magic Kingdom right around Christmas time. You guys, I've been waiting for the right papers and they came to my doorstep. Thank you, Scrapbooking Store. All right, so we're going to turn our sketch here. And I'm going to set it off just for now while I'm showing you my trick. Then I'm going to move my cutting table out of the way and you guys will get to see what I did here. Now, to start the base of this sketch, it is basically two 6x12" sheets of paper. However, if you do that, you have two pieces that don't fit together completely. If you keep one size a full 12x6 or a full 12x12 and layer on top, you're losing a lot of paper. So what I did, if you can see this here, this piece of paper is a little over 6.5 inches long, and I kept this one at the 6x12. To make these then a 12x12 sheet of paper easily, the sort of cheater way, this is what you're going to want it to look like. I use my paper trimmer then to line everything up nicely for me. So I'm going to get a little adhesive on here. You'll see me using Glue Dots adhesive tonight. Full disclosure, I also work for Glue Dots. So I have lots of their products and love them. So you'll see me using those. All right. Because my sort of edge to edge here is 12 inches, I'm lining it up this way. If you don't have that same sort of measurements on your trimmer, you can also do it this way and line it up from your 1 inch to your 12 inch and butt it up against your edges. Like I said, I like this way only because mine happens to be an exact 12 inches from edge to edge. And it's that simple. You get a nice sturdy piece of paper then that works without having to use an entire 12-inch sheet of paper. Now, I got a little crazy with my glue, so I'm just gonna do this and kind of, I want a little nuts. Rub some of it off so it's not sticking to my table. All right, bear with me. I'm going to move my paper trimmer out of the way so you guys can see this a little bit better. Any questions so far with that? All right, that's simple. I actually think I want my candy cane paper on the bottom. I don't know why, I just do, so I'm gonna flip that around. Now remember, we're using our sketch here and we turned it just sideways. All right, so for that, I like to use a lot of different size photos. I have a photo printer here at home, and so I play around with my size of photos. These are about a 3x5 or 3.5x5 inch photo. When you take with an iPhone, they don't quite be quite those measurements, and so it ends up being fairly close to that when we print it out. So if you're looking for photo sizes there. I am going to use those for these two gray spaces here. I want to mat or back it, so I cut that piece already as well. Sometimes if you're not using something exactly perfectly spaced, I will actually attach my photos to my paper ahead of time and then take it to my paper trimmer. Like I'll put it up in this corner and then I'll trim the sides off to get what size I want. Otherwise, my other favorite tool that I use all the time is a ruler. It seems really simple, but you can lay your stuff out and then measure it with your ruler before you go and trim it so it fits your exact paper size here. All right, so we're gonna get those laid down. This is a really simple sketch that works really well with lots of busy pattern papers. I am definitely a pattern paper mixer and matcher. Sometimes in order to make these things work, you just have to start laying different patterns down on top of each other and see what works. I originally had a different paper picked out than this pink one, and I saw this pink and thought it would go so pretty with these photos, so I just start layering them up on top of each other. To give you an idea of what I mean by that, here's some other papers I have left over from the kit. So if I was going to build another layout, I might go, oh yeah, I want this as a base. Then I kind of like to stagger with something that's a little bit more of a neutral pattern and then put another busy one on top. That looks like it works to me. I might have gone, ooh, I want some pink in there. Ooh, that doesn't look like it works to me so much because there's no pink in either of these papers. So a lot of times I just start piling up to see what works. Here I did go with a little bit of two busy papers next to each other. And then I used something that was a little bit more subtle, I guess, in the pattern to frame it out. That'll help your photos pop up off a little bit more busy pattern paper. I use very little cardstock in my scrapping. It's just my style. So I end up with a lot, with less layouts from these kits. I usually still get about 6 layouts per kit, and you can see that I use a ton of pattern paper in them. So you're still getting a lot for your kit. If you use more cardstock in, you're going to get even more than that from your kit. All right, I'm going to attach this down. And then from my sketch, I think I'm going to pretty much center this here since my papers above and below are 6 by 12. Everything feels just a bit like it needs to be centered. But you can try these off center too and play around with the sketch that way too. All right, so I've got both base pieces, I've got my photos, and I've got my mat around it. So now I'm going to start adding some embellishments. I'm not going to do this little bit of journaling down the center. It just doesn't work for this. So I'm going to take that out, maybe put it in somewhere else. The other big thing I will probably do is swap my corners. I will probably throw my title up here, and I will probably put some embellishments down here in this corner just because that's how I'm seeing it in my brain right now. All right. I am going to reach for, so we've got the sticker sheet. You can see I've used a lot of that. I thought this might make a fun bit of embellishment with this as well. Since Fairy Godmother here is magical, I thought magical might be kind of fun. I also have these from the upgrade kit that I think will work quite well with my theme. And I'm going to put a title probably last, so you guys don't have to sit watch me do the whole title by hand if you don't want to. But I think I will do thickers from the upgrade embellishment part of the kit as well for my title. And I checked my letters ahead of time to make sure I had enough to spell out Fairy Godmother, because I think that's what I'm going to do for my title on this one. This is the first time I've ever got to meet Fairy Godmother as a character, and I think that was kind of super fun. By the way, in case you're wondering, I'm the one on the right here, and my friend here on the left owned a scrapbooking store, and I worked for her for a number of years there at the Scrapbooking Store. And she and I are both Harry Potter and Disney nerds, so we took a little Florida trip back when that was an easy thing to do. All right, I've got that down. Now, I am a word sticker person too, so we have all these super fun words across the bottom. I think I'm going to grab an Oh What Fun and kind of cluster it here. How about a little bit of Believe over here too? I think that'll be fun with Fairy Godmother. Yeah, what you're saying with the pictures, that is, I really wasn't, the pictures do help tone down the paper and they pop off the paper. I don't know, I mix and match a lot of pattern papers. I don't know that I'd normally put these two together, but they happen to really coordinate well with the photos. So sometimes having your photos printed out ahead of time when you're sort of playing with mixing and matching pattern papers makes a big difference to what it pulls in and out from it too. That is an excellent point, and it scrolled past me now, so I can't, Lori, it looks like. So thanks for that point, Lori. That is absolutely true. Let's see, let's do Happy Holidays up in this corner. I like to balance out, ooh, that's a little crooked. When you guys do this on your own, there we go. You don't have to work around a camera, so yours will be totally straight. I do like to kind of do opposite corners or balance out. You'll hear a lot about visual triangles, so sometimes balance out, but if you still need something more, then you do pick 3 points. Do what you love. No one has to love it but you. I mean, I hope you love it, and other people do too, but do what you love and what's your style. This busy, not everyone's style. Totally mine, and what I always enjoy. So Let's see, and let's do one moment of magic as well. All right. I really liked for this layout to the great memories, the making memories, the sweet memories. I really liked all of them, so I'm gonna decide what I want to do. I didn't know if size-wise would make a difference for me. This is where you guys get to see my process. I kind of had the papers laid out ahead of time. Not sure about these. Let's see. Let's do, I think the Great Memories is going to fit best. And I think I'm going to pop it under here. All right, so one of the things I really love about Simple Stories stickers and a few other companies as well, their cardstock stickers, they usually will not completely adhere to other cardstock for about an hour. They have a little bit of curing time behind them. So as you're working, if you don't really push down on them, you can see I just lifted that one up a little bit, slid something underneath it. So they're great that way. On photos, they can be a little bit harder to move just because of the ink in that paper is a little bit different. But when you're on cardstock, don't be afraid to kind of jostle them, jiggle them a little bit. You should be able to move them around and stick stuff out. They used to say it was a longer curing time, but I have found that, you know, even an hour or so, if you're moving things around, it works pretty well. Hopefully it doesn't take you an hour to do a layout with a nice sketch like this. You can see it comes together pretty quickly when you work off a sketch. All right. And my great memories, most magical time of the year, some clustered embellishments. I've got a couple stickers up here. I am going to put my title up here as well. Fairy Godmother is going to be a fairly long title. So I'm going to start with the actual Godmother part of that because I want my title to come across here the way my visual angles are looking. I'm kind of clustering everything right around these photos, especially with the busy paper. It draws your eye to the photos instead of everything else around it. So Godmother, I think I'm going to start it slightly off, but my idea is that I want Godmother to bump kind of straight across the top here. And bear with me, guys. I'll try to do it quickly. Oh, I slit all my packages across the bottom instead of pulling the sticky open and having the sticky tab. So long as you're not hanging anything, they won't slide out, and it makes really easy access and easy to put them back in if you like to store your stuff back in your package. And I'll try really hard not to misspell something while I'm on camera, right? You guys go ahead and catch me if I miss a letter. T-H, E, and an R. All right. All right, so I've got Godmother. I'm going to put Fairy above it. I didn't know if I was going to stagger or not. I think I'm going to line Fairy up directly across it just because right now my eye's telling me that's what I want to see. All right, I know I have enough R's. There we go. And the Y. All right, so I've got Fairy Godmother as my title. Sometimes we talk about floating embellishments or floating titles. I usually like to have my title, especially in a long like this, either with stickers kind of overlapping it or butted up against something. So you can see my title on the bottom. Like I said, I butted up against this piece of paper, especially when I don't have it all the way to the edge, or you start it over on the edge. Otherwise, it feels like it's sort of floating out in the middle of nowhere. I actually feel a little bit like this looks like it's floating still, so I am going to grab another one of these stickers since I used one over here and I sort of mirrored these stickers back and forth here. I'm going to take one of these, and since Happy Day is kind of nice and small here, I'm going to add my Happy Day sticker, I think under my F here. Again, to kind of ground it when they overlap, they look like they're one sort of cohesive unit instead of multiple things sort of floating out in space, if that makes sense. All right. So I've got Fairy Godmother over here as my title out of the thickers that were part of the embellishment add-on. These are also from the embellishment add-on. If you guys don't have that, there are a number of fairly large stickers as well here that work really well for substitutes here as well. And I think that is everything that I have for this layout. You can add as many or as few embellishments as you like in these clusters here. Sometimes I will add one and then decide it's a bit too much, pull it off again. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at here. So that is everything on this layout. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Sketch, don't forget to grab that. And just in case you weren't here right at the beginning, this also, out of the sketch, looks quite different. Though I do notice I use the same piece of paper to map because I really like that snowflake paper. And just turned it sideways. Again, one photo versus two photos. So it's really a versatile thing. I like to tell people that sketches can be changed over and over and over again to create something different. This would be very easy to use a 4x6 or a 5x7 photo. This one too, I didn't use a whole lot of Disney themed paper, even though it's a Disney photo. Neither of these are anything Disney, and this really isn't either, I guess. I didn't really use any of the Disney embellishments, not on purpose. So as you can see, this kit is very, very versatile. You don't have to go Disney with it. I went a little Disney crazy because, like I said, I had just been sort of waiting for the right paper and nothing had really come along. And this was fantastic for my Disney Christmas type photos. All right, if you don't have any questions, again, I'm Samantha Taylor with Taylor Stamped. You can find me on all the socials at Taylor Stamped. Make sure you're following Scrapbook Store, Scrapbooking Store here, Instagram, and if you're a club member in the club group, we share some fun stuff there. And I believe it's tomorrow that they will announce whoever the winner was of the Facebook Live as well. And this too, I'll be using the sketch for the sketch challenge this month as well. So I can't wait. I love when you guys use my sketches for the sketch challenge and post what you've done. It makes me so happy to see what you guys have done with the sketches and be able to go on the Facebook page and comment and see everything you guys did, because you guys have so much creativity. It's awesome. You guys do things with the sketches I would have never thought to do, and I love that. And it looks like we've got all the links down below for the Facebook groups and as well. So if you're looking for stuff, go down to the comments. This video will be live be able to be recorded, on the Facebook page in just a few minutes here when I end this. And I will also get a picture of this finished layout up tomorrow. I tend to use natural light to photograph my layouts. It just works out better, so you will get it tomorrow when I have sunlight again. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in.